This is how to crochet the Alpine stitch. I want to say it's pretty beginner friendly. The most difficult part of it is the front post double crochet. So if you know how to do that, you're good to go. If you don't, you can let me know in the comments and I can repost that video for you. But for the beginning chain, we are going to start with multiples of 2, and then we are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and all the way across. That is it for the verbal instructions for the video. I do have the rest of the row at normal speed, so if you want to crochet along with me, you can. I'm just going to ramble like I always do for the rest of the video, but if you don't want to listen to the rambling, you can go ahead and move on to row 2. But before you do, be sure to like and follow if you enjoy these kind of close-up stitch tutorials. My daughter's in preschool now, so I should be able to post every day again, Lord willing. It's totally up to the universe at this point, but I'm trying. I have been absent for a little bit, in terms of making new content. That's mostly, the biggest reason is that I prioritize my family, and I try to be intentional with them, which means I put my phone down, and I spend quality time with them, and the holidays is like the best time to do it. So I didn't want to stress myself out over making videos. And then the other thing is that I don't film videos. I don't stay up anymore to film videos. That has to do with my mental health. I am prone to sleep insomnia, and sleep deprivation makes me go crazy, quite literally. So I have a personal rule that after the kids go to bed, I relax and then I go to bed too. But I no longer work after they go to bed. But now that my daughter's in preschool, I can work during the day. So problem solved. And I will see you in row 2. For row 2, we are going to chain 2 for the turning chain. And then we are going to turn our work and skip that first stitch right there and add our first double crochet into the second stitch. And then we're going to double crochet all the way across. We are skipping that first stitch because the chain 2 counts as a double crochet. Now, the technically correct way is to chain 3, but my chains are pretty big, so I prefer to chain 2. If your chains are generally small and tight, then go ahead and chain 3. I like to keep my turning chains loose though, because it makes it easier to work back into the top of the turning chain if they're looser. But if I chain 3 and keep them loose, then it creates a weird bump. And if I chain 2, then it creates a very straight edge. So, just my 2 cents. But yes, we are just going to double crochet all the way across into every single stitch. That is the end of the verbal instructions. If you want to go ahead and move on to row 3, now would be the time to do so, right after you like this video and follow my account. I used to hate saying it, but it makes a difference. In the videos where I don't say it, people just don't think about it. I know I don't think about it. And I also notice that I don't get offended when other people say it in their videos, so I'm not making it a big deal for myself anymore. But I'm just going to keep repeating it every single time. And because I've been reading the feedback, I am keeping the entire row at normal speed for every single row so that you can follow along if you want to. Or you can, somebody pointed out, if we want to skip through it, we can skip through it. So, here we go. If you have any questions about this stitch or another stitch, or you would like to request something, you can leave that in the comments of any of my videos. I try to take time out of every single day to respond to all the questions, but now there are so many of them, which excites me because that means there's so many people trying to crochet. If you want to ask a second time, if it's been a while and I haven't gotten to your question, I don't get offended. So, I just don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you because there's just so many now. I've started posting my videos across different platforms and it's just a lot for one person. For row 3, we are going to chain 1 and then turn and add a single crochet into the first stitch and every single stitch across. Now here, a key thing to keep in mind, when you get to the end of this row, you have to work into the turning chain. That's because the chain 2 or the chain 3, whichever you chose, but the turning chain counts as a stitch. So you have to add a stitch back into the top of it. But that's it for the verbal instructions for row 3. If you want to go ahead and move on to row 4, this would be the time to do it, but make sure you like this video first. And yeah. But in case you can't tell, I'm pretty excited to be back, simply because it feels really nice to have something for myself and to share something that I love so much with other people. Plus, I am trying my hardest to work from home, doing my own thing, which is crochet. That is my goal. I want to grow my own food, bake my own stuff, bake my own bread, pretty much. I love bread. Cook my own food, make stuff, and teach people how to do it. Now, with the cooking and the baking, I don't feel like I'm good enough to teach those things. But with crochet, I'm pretty confident. That is probably the one thing I'm truly confident in, because I can literally do it in my sleep. And I get so excited that there are so many people that are excited about it. I could literally cry. But that's for a different day. Now here is where I'm working into the turning chain. So I'm picking up 2 loops because to me it just makes it a little bit more of a finished edge. If you just want to pick up 1 loop because your chains are tight, that is perfectly fine. As I said in my last video, for this row 5, we are going to chain 1 and then single crochet all the way across. Make sure that you put your last single crochet into the top of the turning chain. When I was working mine, I could sense, so I used to teach, and it turned on my troubleshooting brain, and now I can't turn it off, which is awesome because it makes these videos really, I don't know, I think it makes them better than they would be if I didn't have that. But I can kind of see now where a lot of my students used to go wrong, because we used to meet every week and it was the same people, but they all had different personalities and different learning styles, and I can kind of see now common issues. So the common issue on this one is that I foresee a lot of people skipping that turning chain. Now, I also had a teacher once, and he was my English teacher in German school, and he said that whenever he tells students that this is going to be hard and this is where they're going to mess up, it'll be the thing that they do best. So I'm hoping to do the same with the turning chain. Most people skip the turning chain. You're probably going to skip the turning chain. Prove me wrong. I also think I'm taking this too serious right now. I need to calm down, but I'm so excited. That's some good coffee. I should make my coffee like that all the time. It's coffee and a combination of having some me time again and just feeling happy. Not euphoric, just happy. Because life is good at the moment, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to dread it. I'm not going to tell myself, oh, the other shoe's going to drop, or however that saying goes. I'm just going to enjoy it for a minute. I just cannot tell you how burnt out I was as a stay-at-home mom. Really can't. It was bad. I love my kids, though. I do. In row 6, we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to turn our work and add a double crochet into that first stitch right there. It is not the stitch at the base of the turning chain. It is the one next to it. And then we are going to add a front post double crochet around the double crochet 2 rows down. So essentially between the previous 2 front post double crochets. And we are doing the same thing we did 2 rows ago, where we are alternating double crochet and front post double crochet while skipping 1 single crochet in the back there. It's easier to show you than it is to explain, but that's essentially how it goes. But that's pretty much the gist of the Alpine stitch. From here, at the end of this row, we are going to finish with 2 double crochet. So it'll be 1 double crochet into the second to last stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the last stitch. And then we're going to chain 1 and single crochet our way across again. And then we're going to repeat row 4. And then after repeating row 4, we're going to single crochet our way across and then repeat row 6. And then single crochet our way across and repeat row 4. And so on and so forth. You can do that until you're done. Now again, if your work starts to curl, that could be a sign that your stitches are too tight, because the science behind it is that the front is tighter or more tense than the back, and that is because of the double crochet that we're putting in the back, and then the front post double crochet is kind of pulling it forward. So if you want to fix that, the easiest way to fix that is to use a bigger hook and to keep your front post double crochet a little bit looser, make them a little bit taller, and then focus on keeping your double crochet a little bit tighter. But not too tight, because if you keep them too tight, it'll also cause the front post double crochet that you work into it eventually to, pull tight. Another thing that I noticed that kind of bothered me, that may bother you, is that the edges can get a little wonky because they're looser than the inside of the stitch or the inside of the row. So if that bothers you, then instead of chaining 2, you can chain 1 and add a double crochet into the base of that. So where you would add your first stitch for a single crochet, you can add a double crochet and then add your alternating front post double crochet and double crochet. It's not going to be perfect. The edges are still going to be a little wonky, but they'll be a little less tall, because what it starts to look like, I don't know what that shape is called, but when the edges are taller than the center. So just a little solution. But if you enjoy these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments of any of my videos. And thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I cannot tell you how happy these videos make me. They are a dream come true, and I am just extremely grateful. But here we are at the end of row 6, so I'm going to add a front post double crochet around this one. And then I'm going to add a double crochet into the second to last stitch, and then a double crochet into the very last stitch. And that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day and be safe.